This class in person usually takes about 2 hours to teach. Via Zoom, I'm not sure. I think this might be the first time, so we'll see how it goes. If you have a question, put your hand in the air. If I can answer your question, I will. If we get to a point where I need to put questions on hold, I'll do that as well. Just don't get offended if I ask you to wait until later for me to answer your question. And I'm multitasking here because we still have people jumping in. All right, there's 14 points in this listing presentation. I'm going to share them with you first, and then we're going to go back and go through them one at a time. First of all, just in case I have somebody new to the group, my name is John Dietz. Hi. I am a real estate trainer and coach for Rainmaker Training and Coaching, and I'm honored to be here. In the real estate business for 20 years, listed an average of 12 to 15 homes every month, closed an average of over 100 homes a year, and have never worked with a buyer. So it's a good thing that this is not a buyer consultation, because you're in the wrong room if that's the case. And let's get started. All right, 1 through 14, here they come really fast, and then we're going to go through them one at a time. Schedule the appointment.
I'll be a gentleman for once.
You all, first of all, because we're getting all of your little side conversations. I'm afraid you might say something you don't want us to hear. All right, schedule the appointment. Soft interview is number 2. Confirm the appointment is number 3. Get on the listing channel is number 4. I'll slow down just a little bit so you can make a list. Don't worry, I'm going to go back and go through each one of these one at a time, slower. Number 1 is schedule the appointment. 2 is soft interview. 3 is confirm the appointment. 4 is get on the listing channel. 5 is your Kodak moment. 6 is tour the home. 7 is begin the conversation. 8 is do a needs analysis. 9 is prioritize their needs. 10 is satisfy their needs. 11 is pricing strategy. 12 is close. 13 is inventory objections, isolate, overcome, and 14 is close. There's your 14 points. All right. And remember, guys, you can raise your hand at any time. I would love to talk to you. That way, I kind of feel like I'm having a conversation with you versus talking to my computer for the next 2 hours, which I'm fine doing. And at the same time, if you have something to say, a question to ask, raise your hand. All right, schedule the appointment. I don't have a whole lot of closes for this. If I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I can do that? All right. If I've been following up with you for a while, you know, Dan, you and I we've been talking for a while, and if I'm being too aggressive, please forgive me. However, if you were to hire a real estate agent like me, you would want to hire an aggressive agent, wouldn't you? Now, who's going to say no to that? Okay, no. I want to hire a pushover. I don't want an aggressive agent. If you're an aggressive agent, no, I don't want you. So don't only use tag downs when you know you're going to get the answer that you want to get. And it's not a tag down. What is it called? I call it the wrong thing. Oh well.
Yeah,
This,
right?
It's a tie down.
Tie down. Yeah, this group is used to seeing me at 8 in the morning, and I start at 4. So this is what I look like at 2 in the afternoon. I need a nap. All right. So forgive me if I'm being too aggressive. However, if you were to hire an agent like me, you would want to hire an aggressive agent, wouldn't you? Again, what are they going to say? No, I don't. Yes, cool. So if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I can do that? All right, there's a whole bunch of other ways to ask for an appointment. Does tomorrow 2 work, or would Thursday at 4 be better for you? It's time to meet and talk about getting your home on the market so we can get it sold, get you to Atlanta so you can be with your family. Does tomorrow at 4 work, or would 5 be better for you? Whole bunch of ways to ask for the appointment. Don't get hung up on that. Okay, number 2. Soft interview. This is really important. Now, one of the most common questions I get when people attend this class is, John, do you have a list of questions you ask? And the answer to that is, yeah, of course, I did. It's the same soft interview that Dietz team used for 13 years. And guys, I think that I would encourage you to make your own because first of all, there's a lot of things that are different now than the way we did real estate 7 years ago, 10 years ago, and certainly 20 years ago. What questions would I ask? How long have you lived in your home? What kind of improvements have you made to your home, upgrades in the last 5 years? Talk to me about the location of your home. They're more than likely going to know what you mean, but you might have to go a little bit deeper. Does your home back to a golf course? Does it back to a lake, the ocean? Now you could pull all that up on public records, right? And you could be pulling the wrong information. So let them know that and ask. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? If their home is older, what is older? 40 years old, 50 years old, and they've lived in the home for the last 10 years. Did your home have a new roof when you bought it? Now you could also, all of this is public information. You just pull permits, but ask them anyways. All right, a couple more questions that are really, really important that you won't think of asking unless I tell you to. If you were to sell your home based on properties in your neighborhood, where do you see your home selling? In other words, at what price do you think your home will sell? Now you might hear, that's why I'm meeting with you, or I have no idea. Just say, that's it. That's great. I understand. Remember, this is a soft interview. You're not having a conversation with them. You're just asking questions. The purpose of the soft interview is in order to prepare for the appointment so that you can do a better job of meeting their needs and exceeding their expectations. So based on homes that have sold in your neighborhood, where do you see your home selling? Are you interviewing other agents? Please ask them that question. Don't think that you just gave them an idea that they haven't thought about already. Are you interviewing other agents? Yes, I am. Cool. No, I'm not. Cool. Have you thought about selling your home by owner? Same thing. Ask them that question. I promise you, if they've thought about it, they're going to tell you. And I promise you, nobody's going to go, oh boy, great idea. I didn't think about that. No. Now, why would I want to ask them that? Because if they say yes, or based on their response, they could say no. But if they say no, and it takes them a while to say no, or I pick it up in their tonality, then I'm going to overcome selling their home by owner in my listing presentation. In other words, Dan, one of the things you might be thinking about is selling your home by owner. So I'd like to chat with you about that just for a moment and share with you what I've learned in the last 13 years. All right, simple enough. Okay. Number 3, confirm the appointment. Now, Corey, I'm meeting with you today. I'm meeting with you tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tuesday. And we have an appointment for 5 o'clock. I'm going to call you in the morning. Hey, Corey, John Dietz, XYZ Real Estate Company, calling to confirm that you and I are meeting later today at 5 p.m.
Sounds good.
Cool. Looking forward to seeing you then. Hey, by the way, before I let you go, Corey, are you going to be ready to get your home on the market when we meet later today at 5?
I think we're pretty close, John.
Okay.
We'll definitely have to talk about it further.
Okay, awesome. Say heck no.
No, I'm not ready to go.
Okay, cool. Awesome. See you at 5. So no matter what they say, it doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're just finding out, are they ready? Okay. And if they say no, it doesn't mean they're not going to hire you either. I've gone on thousands of listing appointments and I've had hundreds of homeowners hire me when they said, I'm not listing my house today. Cool. See you at 4 o'clock. All right. Always call ahead of time to confirm the appointment. Don't skip any of these steps. Be different than everybody else. Next step, get on the listing channel. All right, so you're going to leave the office. You have an appointment at 4 p.m. And getting on the listing channel is all about mindset. Now, if it's a 30-minute drive to get to their house, don't leave at 3:30. If you run into traffic and you're running late, how's that affecting your mindset? you're not happy, you've learned a few new sign language messages, you found out how well everybody else's horn works. You get the point. Leave early, give yourself plenty of time to get there. Best thing that can happen is you get there 15, 20 minutes early. If that happens, drive the neighborhood and start looking for sale by owners. Look at the properties that you pulled as comparables. Drive by them, look at the outside of the house, and drive the neighborhood looking to see if there's any for sale by owners. 2 reasons. Number 1, you could talk about it on the listing appointment. And number 2, you're going to call them tomorrow and schedule an appointment to go list their house. So Zig Ziglar calls it eagle eye prospecting. So if you get there 15 minutes early, just go eagle eye prospect. All right, getting on the listing channel means that you're not going to listen to the radio. If you like to listen to talk radio, I don't know who would want to do that, but if you do, don't do it when you're on your way to a listing appointment. Anything that's going to negatively affect this is off limits. I want you to talk to the rearview mirror. I want you to practice your listing presentation on the way. I want you to visualize the potential objections you can hear and the masterful job that you're going to do overcoming those objections. I want you to use affirmations. I am a master at taking seller listings, and I get every seller listing I want. I'm a master at taking seller listings, and I get every seller listing I want. Whatever affirmations you use for you, I want you to repeat those over and over again. I want you to visualize. I want you to visualize yourself walking in the door, making a great first impression. I want you to visualize sitting at the kitchen table, delivering an amazing listing presentation. I want you to visualize that they love you. They love everything you're saying. And when you get to the end of that appointment, you say, "You ready to get started?" Or they respond with, "Yes, let's go." Now, sometimes when we visualize, we close our eyes. Don't do that. You're driving down the road. Not a good idea. All right. Kodak moment, number 5. I know. Thank you for the ha-ha. I do appreciate that. Guys, one moment. I'm going to close the blinds. The sun is on the west side of the house now, and we're all going to get blinded here in just a second. All right, that's better. Kodak moment. Oh my gosh, I love this one. I especially love it when I've got 42 people that are a part of this class right now. And anybody under the age of 40 right now is asking themselves, what is that? What did he say? So Google it, Kodak. It's a camera or a film. They had cameras and film, right? This is before digital cameras. This is before your phone did everything. Kodak moment means make a great first impression. You've got 10 seconds. Oh my gosh, seriously, somebody's asking how to spell it. You've got 10 seconds when you knock on that front door. Now I'm going to park in the street. I'm going to slow down when it's important that I slow down. And this is important. All right. I'm going to park in the street. I'm not going to park in the driveway. Why is that important? A couple of reasons. If somebody wants to block me in because they're a bad person, they're going to be able to block me in if I park in the driveway. And I'm serious. If you need to get out of that house and run, I want you to be able to get out of that house and run. So don't park in the driveway. Here's the other reason. If you park in the driveway and somebody's inside the house and they need to leave, then they're going to have to ask you to move your car so they can leave. Or if they come home and they need to get into the garage, they're going to ask you to move your car so they can get in the garage. So park in the street. Now, if you're one of those real estate agents who has, I'm a realtor, blasted all over your car, don't park immediately in front of their home because you just told all the neighbors that they're selling their house. They may not be too happy about that. So park a couple houses down, right? All right, park in the street. Dress professional. What is professional? Well, that depends on where you live and how the customers you're going to be meeting with dress. Here in South Florida, where it's 95 degrees and 100% humidity 10 months out of the year, suits and ties, pretty much no. Dress slacks, dress shirt, nice shoes, yes. Pay attention to the little things. If your shirt is pressed and it looks professional, your slacks are pressed and they look professional, and your shoes look like you just went for a walk in the mud, that's what they're going to remember. Not too much jewelry, not no jewelry, but everything matters, and pay attention to who you're meeting with. If you're meeting with a seller of a $1.5 million listing, you might dress different. Dress to the person you're meeting with. Rule of thumb is, if you're looking at it in steps, one step higher than they are. Now, that doesn't mean go in shorts if they're wearing shorts. I would never go on a listing and presentation in shorts and tennis shoes. You want to dress professional. Oh boy, I don't know how many times I need to say that, but it's so important. You can lose the appointment right there. You can lose the listing if you don't show up dressed professional. If your appointment is at 4 p.m., knock on that door at 4 p.m., not 5 till, not 5 after. 5 till, you're not on time. You're early. 5 after, you're definitely not on time. And if you're meeting with somebody and they're a high C, electrician, military, just turn around and go home if you're 5 minutes late. If I knock on Dan's door and I find out Dan is in the military, hey, Dan, John Dietz, we had an appointment at 4 p.m. and it's 4:05. May I come in? Nope, you're late. Thank you for having me. Make it a great day. And it'll happen. Be on time. All right, so I'm going to knock on the door. I've got my backpack over my shoulder. I have all of my listing tools inside my bag. The only thing that's in my hand is a business card. And Valerie opens the door. Oh, by the way, when you attend one of my classes, you volunteer to role play with me. So just take yourself off mute and get ready to role play, because I'm not going to ask you. I knock on Valerie's door. Valerie takes herself off mute and she answers the door. Hey, Valerie, John Dietz.
John, hi, how are you?
Oh my goodness, I am so glad to be here. Listen, we had an appointment for 4 p.m. and it's 4 p.m. May I come in?
Absolutely, come on in.
All right. All right. Now, if you just walk in the door before they invite you in, that's called breaking and entering. So don't do that. Wait till they invite you in the home. The moment I walk in the front door, Valerie, wow, you have a beautiful home and I'm so excited to be here. And I am really excited for this opportunity to help you sell your home. Okay, so I pause because I'm giving somebody an opportunity to ask about that, right? So if you study neurolinguistic programming, study embedded commands. Sell your home is an embedded command. I'm going to use them a lot. And when I say that, yes, I'm super excited to be here and I'm excited for this opportunity to help you sell your home. Now, what if they're not ready to list their home? Is it possible they might tell you, well, we're not listing our house today. Oh, I got it. I understand. Thank you again for the opportunity. Now, before I take another step forward, Kim, would you like me to take my shoes off?
Yes, please. Thank you for asking.
You got it. Do the little things. You're like, seriously, John, yes. Now, if you leave the house that morning, make sure you look at your socks, because if you show up with holes in your socks, they're going to remember you as the dude with his toes sticking out. So I'm going to stand at that front door. Chandra, thank you so much for the opportunity to see your home. I'm super excited to be here. I'm excited for this opportunity to help you sell your home. And would you like me to take my shoes off?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Now, Chandra, I've got my backpack. If it's okay, I'm going to set that at the kitchen table.
Sure, that's great.
Okay, why would I say that, guys?
Because that's where you're preparing them to meet.
You got it. My new favorite person is Chandra. So, Chandra, you get to keep that title until somebody takes it away from you. So, I want to meet with them at their kitchen table. I'm not going to walk in the door and ask, where would you like to sit down? Huge mistake. If you do that, they're going to take you to the living room and ask you to sit on the couch. And now you're sitting on the couch, they're sitting on the couch across the room and you're yelling at them. Doesn't work. We do business at the kitchen table. We have formal dinners at the dining room table. We want to sit at the kitchen table because that's where they do business. So Chandra, I'm going to set my things down at the kitchen table. And if it's okay, I'm going to ask you to take me on a tour of your home. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be great.
Cool. All right, so that brings us to step 5 or 6, which is tour the home. Now, Chandra, as we're touring your home, I'm going to take lots of notes, and I have a notebook in my hand. I'm pointing at it. All right, it's hard to do on Zoom, but inside your home, I'm pointing at the notebook. I'm going to take a lot of notes and ask some questions because this is the information I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Fair enough?
Sounds fair.
All right, guys, that's so important. Please write it down. I'm going to take a lot of notes. I'm going to ask some questions because this is the information I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Now, as we're touring Chandra's home, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes out loud, meaning gorgeous family room. Oh my goodness, hardwood floors, crown molding. Love this room. Hey, by the way, it looks like you have new windows, Chandra. And I know when we spoke on the phone, you mentioned you've been in the house 10 years and I either didn't hear it or didn't write it down, but did you put in new windows?
Yeah, we did. That was about 1.5 years ago, John.
Oh my gosh, these are beautiful. I love those.
Thank you.
Okay, what am I doing?
Complimenting.
Liking her
I
home.
trust you. Do you know what you're doing? Do I care about you? Can I trust you? Do you know what you're doing? I'm demonstrating that I care. I like Chandra's home. I'm enthusiastic. If I walked in the door and the first thing I said was, oh my goodness, what were you thinking? That's got to go. That's got to go. Oh, this carpet? Are you kidding me? What'd you do? Put this in the 1970s? That's got to go. You guys are thinking, man, John, nobody does that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There's a lot of real estate agents out there that think it's their job to do this. That's how they display their professionalism, is they're professional stagers. But you could be a professional stager. I don't have anything wrong with that, anything against that. But until they hire you, until they sign the listing agreement, your job is to like their home. All right, we're going to the kitchen. Oh my gosh, I love your kitchen, Chandra. Brand new granite countertops, maple cabinets, and I'm writing all of this down. Chandra, are these travertine floors?
They are.
Oh my gosh, I love the floors. If I lived in your home, I'd be in the kitchen every day. I think it's my favorite room. All right, go outside. I don't care if it's 95 degrees and 100% humidity, you're going to sweat, go out there. It's your job. Take time to look at every single part of the home. If they share something with you that's important to them, it's important to you. In other words, that's a brand new grapefruit tree over there that we just planted a year ago. You should see the grapefruits that come off that tree. That's awesome. I love your grapefruit tree. I'm thinking on the inside, the new owner's probably going to dig it up and get rid of it, but okay, cool. I love that grapefruit tree. It's your job to like their home, pay attention, ask questions. If we go outside and they're on the water, first thing I'm going to do is to see what kind of boats are on the intercoastal where their home is. How big are those boats? Susan, I see that you're on the water and beautiful boats. Do you have direct access to the Atlantic Ocean, or are there any fixed bridges you have to go under?
Oh, no, we have direct access. It's great.
Yeah, cha-ching, right? That's big money. You could have the same house. Thank you, Susan. You played that role really well. You could have the same house. Everything else is equal. One has direct access. The other one has this bridge they have to go under. And the biggest boat you could put behind that house is a 16-foot Boston whaler. It's going to make a major difference in the price of that home. Huge difference. It's your job to know that. All right. If you're in an area that's tidal, like growing up on the west coast of Florida, boy, if you don't know the tides, you could go out at high tide and spend the night out there because you ain't getting back in because you came back in at low tide, unless you walk. I mean, in the water. So it's your job to know what the tides are. All right. Ask a lot of questions. It's a big house. How many units are on the AC system? How old are they? When did you replace the compressor? When did you replace the air handlers? How old is the roof? What type of roof is it? What kind of warranty does the roof have? If you're thinking, how do I know what questions to ask? What kind of questions would a buyer ask? Just ask what a buyer would ask, because it's your job to know the answers to those questions. When a buyer asks a question, you need to know the answer. I'll get back to you means I don't care about you. You can't trust me, and I don't know what I'm doing. All right, you're sitting at the kitchen table. You're finished with the tour. Now you're going to begin the conversation. I'm just scrolling through to see who I can pick next. Justin. Justin's sitting across the table from me. Justin, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. It is a privilege and an honor to meet with somebody and discuss the possibility of the Dietz team representing them in the sale of their home.
Thanks for coming by.
Start. Thank you, sir. Love the background too, by the way, Justin. No, I'm not saying that if I'm sitting at his kitchen table.
Yeah.
And he just, there he is. I'd like to start by sharing my mission statement with you. Would that be okay?
That'd be great.
Super. So Justin, my mission is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. And because of that mission statement, whenever I meet with a potential client, one of three things typically happens. One of those three things will happen today. Either number one, they hire me, which is awesome. Or the second thing that happens is they may not hire me, which quite honestly isn't that awesome. And then the third thing that happens every so often is I may choose not to list their home. By the way, when you sit down at the kitchen table and they ask you if you want a glass of water, the answer is always yes, because of this. I've been talking for 40 minutes, just like I would if I were at your home, and I need a drink of water. All right. By the way, not always a good thing. Bunny trail alert. Watch out. One of the other reasons I ask for a glass of water is because if all that water is gone, it means I've been talking too much. Ideally, I'm walking out the door with the keys in my hand, listing paperwork signed, and I only drank just maybe half the glass. I want them to talk. Here's one other thing that I bypassed, and it's important. When you're sitting at the kitchen table, if you're meeting with two people and they're sitting, one's way over here, like off screen, one's over here, you have to do this to look at them, move them across the table so you can see both of them at the same time. You're in charge. Just ask. Hey, Dan, would it be okay if I moved you over here so I could see you and Lonnie at the same time? Right? Yeah, if it's a divorce sale, just make sure you keep 3 feet between them so they don't start hitting one another. That was a joke. Okay. You want to be able to see them. All right, back to Justin. Justin, it is an honor to meet with someone and discuss the possibility of selling their home. Oh, I'm at one of three things. Sorry. So the third thing that happens every so often is I may choose not to take their listing.
Why would that happen, John?
There you go. That's what I want. I want to pause and I want to give them an opportunity to ask me, why wouldn't you take my listing? See, their mindset is you're just another desperate real estate agent. All real estate agents will take every single listing they have an opportunity, and you're demonstrating that you care about them, you can trust them, you know what you're doing. You're also demonstrating to them that you're empowering them not to hire you, and you're empowering yourself not to take the listing. So back on script. Justin, I'm so glad you asked, and you're really going to like the answer. You see, if I feel that a homeowner has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Does that make sense?
It does, John. I appreciate that.
Cool. Now, Justin, all right, now I'm going to teach you how to throw your competition under the bus, because Daryl, you know they're meeting with somebody else tomorrow, and you're going to set your competition up for failure. So Daryl, because I know you told me you have a couple of appointments tomorrow, you're meeting with some other agents. You're going to meet with somebody who wants or needs your listing. You see, the good news for you is, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't need your listing.
Is that right?
If I needed your listing, I would tell you anything you wanted to hear just to put a sign in your front yard. Now I want to work for you
Okay.
because I really want to work for you. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. I'm never going to tell you something you want to hear just to put a sign in your front yard. If I feel you have a goal or an expectation that I can't meet or exceed, I'd rather turn the opportunity down than let you down.
Makes sense.
Now, here's what's going to happen, guys. The next day, they're going to be meeting with a real estate agent who starts to tell them that she can get more money for their home. She can get more money for their home than you told them. Matter of fact, she's going to tell them that she can get more money for their home than they even think they can get. She's willing to discount her fee. I mean, she is just telling them everything they want to hear just to get a sign in the front yard. And now they're elbowing one another and they're saying, you remember what John said yesterday? This is exactly that. She's just telling us what we want to hear, just put a sign in the front yard. And you've set her up for failure. Because I'm going to ask them, do you want to work with an agent like that? They're going to say no. Cool. All right, let's see, Randy, in order for me to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple questions. Would that be okay?
That's fine, John.
Cool. So Randy, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so great and 10 being awesome, what's one thing that needs to happen in the sale of your home that would cause you to consider this experience a 10?
Money.
Money.
What I walk away with.
All right, I got you. Randy, please tell me, what does that look like? When you say money, I'm thinking sale price. Tell me what that looks like. What did you have in mind?
Well, John, I needed at least enough money to move to Arkansas.
Okay.
So I'm expecting to get $250,000 from the sale.
Okay, so I'm hearing net 250. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and guys, I've got my notebook in front of me and I'm writing this down. They see me writing it down. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? Do you know what you're doing? If you went to the doctor and the doctor said, tell me how you're doing, and it's not a cold, it's something serious. And they asked like 1 or 2 questions. They didn't take any notes. How would you feel about that? And then after another couple of questions, and they're still not taking any notes, they're like, okay, so we're going to schedule surgery next Tuesday at 4 p.m. You just come on in here, we'll open you up and get this taken care of. How are you feeling about that? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Do you know what you're doing? All right. So, Dan, you need to net $250,000. And you shared with me that was important to you because that's the money you need in order to move to Arkansas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Still.
Here we
Okay,
go.
great.
Anybody on here from Arkansas?
I'm about 30 miles north of the state line.
I thought you were Branson, right?
Yes.
I'm actually from Arkansas.
There you go.
That's
Why you said that. Pretty smart guy, right?
Yep.
I love the Razorbacks. Good football team. All right, back on script. All right, Dan, so if we netted $250,000 and that would give you the money in order for you to move to Arkansas, this would be a 10, correct?
Yes.
Great. Now, Dan, if we could accomplish a second goal such that this would be a 10 plus experience, what's the next goal?
I'd like to have it done in the next 3 months because we want to get out there before, everybody starts buying up property. Everybody starts moving in the spring and the summer. So we want to move before that.
Okay. So when you say get it done in the next 3 months, what does that look like? Are we talking about having a contract or you've moved? You're in Arkansas 90 days from now.
Contract's fine because then we can go make an offer on something in Arkansas.
Okay, so if we have a contract within 90 days, that's a 10?
Yep.
All right.
10.
And if we get a price that would allow you to net $250,000. Oh, by the way, anybody thinking I forgot about this? I didn't. By the way, what do you need to sell for in order to net 250?
650.
Got it. All right, so we had a contract price and closed your home at $650,000. You're netting $250,000, and maybe it took a little bit longer than 90 days, but it was close. That would be a 10.
Yep.
Got it. All right, now let me put you guys on hold here for a moment. What do you do when somebody responds with no? That's not okay. I've got to have a contract in 30 days. Critically important. Because when that person said, one of the things that needs to happen for this to be a success is I need a contract in 30 days. And I asked, why is that important to you? They shared with me, well, I'm moving to Atlanta and I'm starting a new job there in 60 days. And if my home isn't sold, I'm still moving. You know, my wife and children are going to have to stay behind, but I'm going. It makes me terrible. Sorry. Susan and Brenda, don't get mad at me. Okay. And I asked, okay, so if we had a contract, if we closed for $650,000, now I'm on the 30-day example, okay? And it took a little bit longer than 30 days to get a contract. That would be a 10.
Sure.
No, it's not.
Oh, no. Okay.
You misread the script. It's no, that wouldn't work. I've got to have a contract in 30 days because I'm moving in 60 days. Now, in that example, I'm going to stop and say, okay, Dan, would it be safe to say then that your number one goal is not 650? The number one goal is actually to have a contract on your home in the next 30 days. Would it be safe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, before I showed up at his home, he didn't know that. He thought the goal was to get 650. If he thought about it at all, he wasn't clear on what his goals were. A lot of times, the reason we're going through these goals is not just so we can learn what it takes for them to have a great experience. It's also for them to learn what they need to do in order to get to Atlanta in time to start their new job. That's the goal. You're not there to sell their house. You're not there to list their home. You're there to get them to Atlanta so they can start their new job in 60 days. You guys got that? It's not your job to list their house. It's not your job to sell their house. It's your job to get them under contract and closed in 60 days so they can be in Atlanta in order to start their new job. Does everybody understand that? Please say yes.
Yes.
Difference between Zoom and a room full of people. A room full of people would talk to me once in a while.
Yes, understood.
Thank you, Lisa. You're my new favorite. Whoever was my favorite before, you no longer have a title. All right. All right, if we could accomplish a third goal, Lisa, I'm sticking with you. If we could accomplish a third goal, so this would be a 10 plus experience, what's the third goal? Lisa says, if you would reduce your commission. My response is, what would that do for you? And hold on, when you have your camera on, you're a good target for me. Brenda says, I would net more money. I got it. So Brenda, what I'm hearing you say is if I would reduce my commission, you would net more money, which would give you the opportunity to purchase the home in Atlanta you want to purchase.
Right.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if we could crush one of these goals, I mean, you nail it and you barely miss the other two. What's number one? And she says, well, John, it's contract. I need to have a contract in 30 days. I got it. So Brenda, we had a contract within 30 days so you can move to Atlanta in order to start your new job. You didn't quite got 650, but it was close. And my fee was not negotiable. That would be a 10. Is that correct?
Well, I need to get enough money to purchase a home in Atlanta.
I understand. If I was able to get your property under contract within, and I'm going to be so repetitive on this. Here's why. Logic makes us think, emotion makes us act. And I want to just hammer home the emotion around this conversation. So if we had a contract within 30 days, so you could be in Atlanta with your family, you're not leaving your husband and the kids behind. You're all there together. You started your new job. You got close to 650. And Brenda, you netted the amount you wanted to net. Would that be a 10?
If I netted the amount I want to net, yes, then it would be a 10.
Okay. If I were able to show you that I'm the right agent for the job to get all of these goals accomplished, would you hire me today?
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's get started. All right. I'm going to take a break right there. That's an opportunity for you to ask questions. For those of you who wrote down the steps and you're saying, and you're wondering, where are we? We're at number 9. The next step is 10. All right. Take yourself off mute. Talk to me. Raise your hand and I'll call on you.
I have a quick question, John. Hi, by the way. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello. Number 8. I know it was part of the conversation, but what was the title of that?
Needs analysis.
Needs analysis. Thank
So
you.
needs analysis comes right after one of
Begin
the
the
things that
conversation.
happened today, right? One of those is where we may turn down the opportunity. So the transition statement to the needs analysis is, Lisa, in order for me to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple of questions. Would that be okay?
Thank you.
My pleasure. So there's a hand up. Kim, talk to me.
So, okay. I need a contract in 30 days. I need to move to Atlanta. How do you make sure you don't box yourself in? And then something happens, rates go up, you have no activity, and you just know it's not going to happen in 30 days. Is that when you just say, okay, I can't meet that expectation and just not even take it? And how do you guarantee it's going to go under contract in 30 days or sold in 30 days?
You're not guaranteeing them, Kim. It's a really good question, by the way. Okay, Kim, do you like sports?
Yes.
All right. I'm really crossing my fingers on this one. Do you like football?
By default, it's always on, so I learned to like it.
Can you tolerate it?
I can tolerate it, yes.
Okay. All right. So let's see. The Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers played yesterday, right? And and at no point in the game do you give up on winning the game. You make adjustments in order to win the game. At no point in this process of getting your home sold are we going to give up on the goal of getting our home sold in the next 30 days. We make adjustments. And on a scale of 1 to 10, that's not script, by the way, that's me and you talking, where it's a coaching conversation. On a scale, this is script. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being kind of interested and 10 being all in, where are you when it comes to motivation to get your property under contract in the first 30 days?
100%.
You're all in. Okay, Kim, we're at $650,000 and we're getting good showings, but we're not getting any offers. All right, bunny trail alert, and not really. Please write this down. You're looking for at least 2 showings every week, and you're looking for an offer after 10 showings. The market talks to us. And if we're not getting at least 2 showings a week, then the market is telling us the price is too high. If I'm speaking with the homeowner, we missed the mark. We priced your home too high. I'm a partner in this. It's not them. We missed the mark. We priced your home too high. The market's telling us that we need to make a correction. We're at $650,000. Now, Kim, my question for you is, if you had an offer for 625, what would you do?
I would take it.
If I asked you, when it comes to having your property under contract for in the next 30 days, so you can be in Atlanta with your family, I'm leaning in, my tonality is down. This is a serious conversation. Yes or yes? Yes. If I said, in order to get your home sold so you can have a contract in the next 30 days, be in Atlanta with your family in 60 days, where does your heart stop? What does an offer look like that you would reject and stay here for 60 days, 90 days, maybe longer? How much?
600.
600. Yeah. What do you think we should do, Kim?
We lower the price.
Where should we lower it?
Let's do 620.
620. Now, if we lower the price to 620 and a buyer comes in the next day and offers you 600, what are you going to do?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I need you to answer it, because you're going to have a situation where you really need to answer this question, and it's better if we do it ahead of time than wait until it happens. So what are you going to do?
I'll accept it, but probably not too happy about it.
Say that one more time, please.
I'll accept it, but probably not too happy about it because I need to.
My greatest concern for you is not that you're happy or unhappy. My greatest concern for you is that you're still in your home 6 months from now and we're having the same conversation. Be unhappy. Be angry. Be angry at me. But sell your home and move to Atlanta. So, Kim, what should we do?
We should accept the offer.
Where should we price your home? Where should we lower that price today?
Let's do 615.
Here's the challenge with 615. A buyer that would offer you 600 may not even look at it at 615. If you knew there was a buyer out there that was going to give you $600,000 and they chose another property that was as nice as yours, same location, maybe 610, and you don't get the offer and you don't know that you didn't get the offer and your home didn't sell. Are you okay with that?
Right. Right at 6.
So we need to drop the price to 600?
Yeah, I really need to get to Atlanta.
I agree. Let's get that done. Okay, I've sat at the kitchen table for an hour, over $5,000. This is really, really, really important. Okay, we were having a lot of fun, laughing, tonality was high, lots of smiles, and we got into a serious conversation. This is their money. Their family's ability to move to Atlanta hinges on you mastering the market. It is your job to be the local economist of choice. It is your job to know the market better than anybody else does. It is your job to be a strategic pricing professional. This is critically important. This isn't 2020 or 2021 when you put a home on the market and you get 20 offers and it's gone. We are moving into a market where instead of there being 5 buyers fighting over one home, you're going to have 5 sellers fighting over one buyer. And in order to sell their home, they're going to have to beat the competition. And $5,000 might be the difference between selling and not selling. All right, that went a little longer than I was planning on, but it was important. And I saw a couple of hands up and I think you guys got tired of waiting. You put your hand down. So let me check the chat. Good hygiene is so important. Who wrote that? Susan, of course. Yeah. Susan, where are you? So Susan, you had the opportunity to meet my wife last week, right?
I did.
Yeah. So I'm walking out the door and she's like, "You're not wearing that, are you?" And she's
Look
like,
great. You
and then
look,
she'll say, "You got hair coming out of your ears, you got hair coming out of your nose, you ain't leaving this house." You guys will probably think, "Oh my God, I can't believe he just said that." You know, it's true.
I do this.
You do the same thing with that guy sitting next to you?
Mhm.
She does.
Yeah, manscaping is important.
It's so important. I mean, you can look great and you got some hair growing in place that ain't supposed to grow, and that's all they're looking at.
It is true. It's true. Hey, John, I have my hand up because
Yes.
as you're going through this,
Yeah.
I got a new thing in the mail.
Mm.
So grateful. Thank you for doing this, for putting together this book. So I'm following your scripts in here as you're going over it, adding to it. And I just can't say enough about it. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for
I'm
that.
gonna come steal that from you, Susan. No.
Hey.
Amazon.
It's only $25, guys. Get online and buy it. Come on.
She's
was
faster
not-
than Amazon. She's up the road.
$19.99. I'll share.
Oh,
Ray.
wow. Look at that. The price went down.
Thank you.
All right. Lonnie, got your message. Loud and clear, and hope you feel better, by the way. Let's see. Mike Ferry training. One time went to a Mike Ferry event and love Mike Ferry. And yes, some of my stuff is Mike Ferry. I'm kind of a mutt though when it comes to training and coaching. I'm an education junkie. So I've never had an opportunity to go to a training event that I said no to. I say yes to every single one of them. And the reason I do that is because one, I'm an education junkie, and because two, Jim Rohn told me years and years and years and years ago that go to every training event you can, because you never know which one's going to change your life. If you knew which one was going to change your life, you'd only go to that one. But because you don't know, go to them all. So I'm a little bit of a mutt when it comes to training. I've got a lot of different trainers that have taught me everything that I know. All right, I'm going to pick up. I don't see any more hands up, so I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. If I am, just take yourself off mute and yell at me. Step 10, satisfy their needs. All right, you just spent the last half hour finding out what needs to happen for them to have a successful sale. Now, they're a patient, you're the doctor, you've asked questions so you know what's wrong. Now you're going to write a prescription so that they can feel better. It's the same thing. You're a consultant, you've asked questions to understand what needs to happen for them to fix a problem. The problem is they need to move quickly. They need to move quickly because they want to move to Atlanta and they got to get there in order to start a new job. It's your job to fix that problem. Now, here's how you're going to do it. This is meeting their needs. In other words, what is your strategy in order to attract the right buyer to get their home sold? And every one of you is going to write a different strategy. I get asked a lot at this point in my 14-point listing presentation, what kind of PowerPoint did I use? What kind of visuals did I bring with me? And the answer is none. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I didn't. I'm the PowerPoint. I'm the visual. I'm sitting across the kitchen table with you and I'm having a conversation with you, Nathan. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
You look good.
John.
You look good. I'm jealous. I like that beard. If I could grow one that looked that good, I would. And I'm sitting across the table from him and I'm talking to him just like I'm talking to him. Nathan, do you like me so far?
I like the way I feel right now, John.
Yeah, I'm not making you feel bad. You feel like I care about you. This is not script. I'm not role playing with you. I'm talking to you, real estate trainer and coach to agent professional. Do you like how you feel, how I'm making you feel so far?
I like it. Yes, I'm feeling
Okay.
good.
There, that's the point right there. I'm sitting at the kitchen table at Nathan's home and he doesn't feel like he's being sold anything. Feels like he's talking to a professional. How does your doctor talk to you? How does your attorney talk to you? You're a consultant. Ask questions. It's your job to learn as much as you can possibly learn about that person sitting on the other side of the kitchen table. You can't meet their goals and exceed their expectations if you don't know what they are. You're not going to know what they are if you don't care enough to ask. I don't need a fancy PowerPoint presentation to get your listing. I just need to show up as somebody who cares, who knows what they're doing. And at this point in the presentation, I'm just going to simply share, this is my plan in order to get your home sold. First of all, we're going to price it at the right price in order to attract the right buyer. Buyers shop in $25,000 to $50,000 increments. There's a huge difference between a buyer at $595 and a buyer at $605. It's kind of like going fishing with your bait out of the water. If you went fishing tomorrow and you hung your bait 3 feet above the water, how many fish would you catch? None. It's the same thing. If you price your property at the wrong price, you're attracting the wrong buyers, your home's not going to sell. So the first part of marketing is making sure that we're marketing it to the right buyers. You see, in my experience, I've met with a lot of homeowners who feel that the secret to getting their home sold is more marketing, more marketing, more marketing. And more marketing with the wrong price just tells more people that the home is overpriced. So the first step to marketing your property to the right buyer is to price it at the right price in order to attract the right buyer. The next thing I'm going to do is, it's my job as your real estate agent. And if they're an expired listing, they'll love this one because the previous agent didn't do this. It's my job to reach out to all of the real estate agents in our market and let them know your home is on the market. It's my job to call them, email them, and let them know how amazing and beautiful your home is. Let them know that same property that was on the market at $710,000 is now back on the market at $695,000. I'm going to ask them, did you know the home was for sale? They're going to tell me no. And I'm going to ask them, why didn't you know the home was for sale? They're going to go, because I wasn't looking in that price range. I was looking up to $700,000. You mean if it was available at $695,000, you would have looked at it? Not only would I have looked at it, I would have bought it. The other thing that I'm going to do that nobody else is going to do is I'm going to call an average of 60 to 80 people every day looking for a buyer for your home. Now they're going to question that because you're questioning it right now. You're asking yourself, you're asking me, John, do you really do that? Yeah, here's how. I call Randy because Randy's a for sale by owner. Randy, just out of curiosity, when your home sells, where are you moving to? Randy says, well, I'm staying in the area. And what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, has to have a pool, has to have a backyard large enough for my dogs to run around, has to be fenced in. I want it to back up to a lake. I don't want to be backing up to some neighbor who annoys me. And Randy just described your home. I just found a buyer for your home because I'm making calls to 60 to 80 potential buyers every single day. I called Brenda, her home came off the market, it didn't sell. And one of the questions that I asked her is, hey, Brenda, if your home would have sold, where were you moving to? Staying in the area. What are you looking for? And she just described your home. If your previous realtor would have done that, your home probably would have sold. I'm going to circle prospect all of the neighborhoods around your property that are in price ranges where buyers are moving from in order to move into your neighborhood. Homes in your neighborhood are selling between $550,000 and $600,000. By the way, I wouldn't hesitate sitting at the table because I know the price, but I wanted to pick a price range that would make sense, right? $550,000 to $600,000. So where do you think the buyer's coming from? If they're a move up buyer and they're buying a $550,000 to $600,000 home, they're selling a $350,000 to $400,000 home. I'm going to go find those neighborhoods and I'm going to call all the homeowners in the neighborhood. And I'm going to let them know, hey, I just listed a brand new property. It's an Eagle Trace, absolutely beautiful home. It has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, completely updated. If you know of anybody looking to buy an Eagle Trace, please let me know. And they say, I'm looking to move. Really? Tell me what you're looking for. And I just found a buyer for your home. Guys, is this making sense? Are you currently doing this? If you're not currently doing this, are you going to start doing this? Heads are nodding. That's good. I'm getting
Yes.
It makes
Yes.
sense, doesn't it? If you're doing just listed postcards, where are you going to send them? You're going to send them to neighborhoods that most likely a buyer is going to come from that's going to move into that neighborhood. If I'm selling an oceanfront condo in South Florida, the buyer probably lives in New York. It's a $2 million condo and that buyer's coming from New York. They're only going to live in it 30 days a year. True story, but that's where I'm going to look. So I'm going to market that property in New York in order to attract the right buyer. You need to be an expert. Why should somebody hire you? Because you're a local economist of choice, because you're a strategic pricing professional, because you are an expert at marketing properties in order to attract the right buyer. And you're a fierce negotiator. Now, tell them what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put your home in one of those magazines. Unless you do that. If you do that, great. Go for it. Keep doing it. I'm going to put your home where buyers are looking. Here's another way of looking at it, Felicia. You're paying me to sell your home. You're paying me to market your home. You're paying me a lot of money to market your home. Now, do you want me to look for sellers or do you want me to look for buyers?
Both.
Raven, somebody, David, Chandra.
Sorry, it froze.
You want me to look for buyers or you want me to find sellers?
Buyers.
Buyers, that's the answer. She's like, what's the right answer, guys? Somebody help me.
I know that you broke up, so I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Wait a second. Are you an FSU fan? Put you in timeout. Hold on one second.
My son goes.
All right. All right. Listen, this is important. Listen to me. Real estate agents who market themselves are selling image. Real estate agents who market homes are selling homes. Real estate agents who market image are looking for sellers. Sellers buy image, bus benches, billboards, image. All of that marketing on all of those billboards, they're looking for sellers, not buyers. Now you're paying me to sell your home. Do you want me to spend your money to find more sellers that will hire me to list their home? Or do you want me to spend your money to find a buyer for your house? All right. Part of satisfying their needs is letting them know what you're going to do to service their listing. I would recommend you put this in writing. I'm going to call you after every single showing. Every showing, I'm going to call you and I'm either going to give you feedback or I'm going to let you know the other realtor didn't give me feedback or they didn't answer their call or return the call I made to them. I'm going to call at least 3 times and text 3 times looking to get feedback on your home. Matter of fact, we have a system on our team where my listing manager, that's part of her job. She's going to reach out ahead of time to confirm the appointment with the agent who's showing your home. And she's going to let them know that she's going to reach out to them after the showing for feedback, so they know she's going to be calling. We have a system where they can send us feedback via text or via email. And we're going to call you and we're going to give you feedback every time somebody looks at your home. I promise you, your competition's not doing this, guys. Now, I'm also going to call you at least once a week, even if we don't have showings. I'm going to give you an update on how many people are looking at your home online, and I'm going to give you an update on what's going on in the market. Every time a home sells that we're competing against, I'm going to call you and I'm going to let you know. That's important because somebody chose one of the homes that we're competing against versus yours. And we need to know, why did they choose that home and not yours? That's going to give us the ability to make adjustments so that we can get your property under contract. Part of my service agreement is every single listing I take is 100% satisfaction guaranteed, which means if you're not happy with the service that I'm providing, you can cancel the listing with no fee and no questions. The only thing I ask is that you give me an opportunity to fix what you're not happy about. And if I can't, fire me. Now, it's a no hassle listing guide. You can look it up on YouTube. There's a number of real estate agents in the United States who do this. Just make sure you check with your broker and your broker's okay with this, because I don't want to call somebody with somebody yelling at me. All right. Now, satisfy their needs. You're going to talk about what you're going to do to market their property, and you're going to talk about your service plan. When we have an offer on your home, I'm going to call you immediately. I'm going to let you know we have an offer, and I'm going to come present it to you in person. Now, if you can't do that, don't say that. However, if you can do that, absolutely do. You're going to have a much better conversation in person. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? Than you are over the phone. Remember, I'm a fierce negotiator. One of the reasons you're hiring me, remember, they haven't said yes at this point, but I'm assuming the listing the entire time. One of the reasons you're hiring me is because I'm a fierce negotiator. I'm going to fight hard for your equity. I'm a defender of your equity. Write that down. You need to convey, I care about you, you can trust me. I care about you, you can trust me. It goes a lot further than some fancy PowerPoint showing all of the really awesome marketing that you do. By the way, if you do that, don't get mad at me. You know how I can tell if you guys are getting mad at me? I pay attention to how many people are in here, and I see people jumping. I'm like, oh boy, I made somebody mad. All right. The next step is step number 11, which is pricing strategy. Now, notice that I didn't say that we're going to look at a CMA or we're going to discuss the right price, because we're not going to do neither one of those. We're going to look at the right pricing strategy in order to get their home sold in the next 30 days so they could be in Atlanta with their family in 60 days. Now, we're going to look at the comparables that sold in the last 3 months, ideally. You can go back 6 months if you want. Just check with local appraisers and see how far back they'll go. Go back the same amount of time. And bring everything. Don't leave any listings that you feel are not comparable, so you didn't bring them. Here's what's going to happen if you do that. They're going to ask you about the property that sold around the corner from them. And you're going to say, I don't have that. And now you look like you're not prepared. I want you to bring everything. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at all of the properties that have sold within your neighborhood, and some of them are going to be comparable and some aren't. And when we come across a property that's not comparable, I'm just going to let you know, and we're going to put that property off to the side. But I brought everything, because I'm not going to leave any stones unturned in order to get you the highest price possible for your home. Now, the subject property is 3,000 square foot. And you come across a comparable that's 4,600 square foot. You know, your script, all you're going to do is just tell them, This property is 123 Main Street around the corner from you. It's 4,600 square foot, so it's not comparable. We're going to put that one to the side. Their property is 3,000 square foot. The next comparable is 2,000 square foot. This is too small. It's not comparable either. We're going to put that one to the side. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for 3 solds that's sold within the last 3 months that are within 10% of the subject property square footage. So if it's a 3,000 square foot home, I'm looking 2,700 square foot to 3,300 square foot. And in addition to looking at the solds, and we're going to go through detail, and I'm going to highlight before I get there, this is my prep work, the data that I want to take a look at. Updated kitchen, granite countertops, brand new roof in 2022, backs up to a large lake. I'm going to make sure that I'm looking at all of those things that are going to have an impact on the price of the home. And at the end of each property that I look at, Daryl, I'm going to ask, is this home comparable to yours? Is it better, equal, or less in value? How do you feel? Let them tell you. They'll tell you. By the way, their home is always the best home. And your job at this point is simply, I understand. Okay. Now, the other thing I want you to do is make sure you have a legal pad with you because you're going to draw a lot of pictures. All right. There's one of them, right? It's just like a hill. Okay. When the market is a seller's market, prices are going up. There's lots of homes selling and there's very few properties for sale. We're going to base the price on the solds. Makes sense. In a seller's market, the last home that sold creates a new floor, meaning the next home is going to sell for more. Now, when we get into 90 days plus of inventory, 90 days of it plus of inventory is considered a stable market according to the National Association of Realtors, but it's not going to be stable for long. It's going to be to 120 days before you know it and 180 days soon. That's how the markets shift. Now, I want you to stay focused on the actives more. When a market shifts, pay more attention to the actives than you do the solds. You're going to look at the solds, but you're going to pay more attention to the actives because in order to sell their home, you've got to beat these guys. You got to beat the competition. And when pricing their home, you have 3 different strategies. You can price at market value, behind market value, or ahead of market value. And I want you to price ahead of market value, which means we're pricing where the market's going. Now, in looking at the 3 properties that are most comparable to yours, one sold at $675, the other one sold at $650, and one sold at $680. Based on that, Daryl, where do you see your home selling?
680.
Fair enough. Okay, there we go. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out a supply and demand analysis for homes that are priced between 650 and 675 and homes that are priced between 675 and 700. The way you do this is pull actives between 650 and 675,000 in a 2 to 3 mile radius around the subject property. Subject home is a single family home, so you're pulling active single family homes between 650 and 675 within a 2 to 3 mile radius. This is a math equation. That's A. B, same geographic area, same price, 650 to 675, but sold in the last 6 months. How many sold between 650 and 675, same area between 650 and 675? That's B. C is B divided by 6. So if there's 18 properties that sold between 650 and 675 in the last 6 months, that's 3 selling every 30 days. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So there's 3 selling every 30 days. D is A divided by C, meaning if there's 12 properties for sale, you're going to take A, 12, divided by C, 3, which means you have a 4-month supply of inventory. Now we're going to do the same thing for properties priced 675 to 700. How many actives are there in the same geographic area? In a 2 to 3 mile radius, 675 to 700. How many sold in the last 6 months? C, we're going to take B divided by 6. Let's say there were 12 that sold in the last 6 months. 2 are selling every 30 days. And D is A divided by C. And there are 12 properties for sale. That's the actives. There are 2 selling every 30 days. We have a 6-month supply of inventory. So then the next question is, I believe the price you gave me was $680,000. Quick question. Do we have a better chance of being one of 4 homes that are sold in the next 30 days, 650 to 675? Or do we have a better chance of being one of the 2 homes that is sold 675 to 700? If we price your home between 675 and 700, we're competing against properties that are priced between 675 and 700. And there's going to be sellers in that group who are super motivated to get their home sold. I mean, there's only 2 selling every 30 days. There's 12 for sale. In order to get your home sold, you're going to have to be one of the top 2. And if there's somebody in that price group that's more motivated than you are, what are the chances you're going to be one of the top 2? Now, between 650 and 675, you got to be one of the top 4. And I forget how many we're selling in that group. Let's go with 16. All right, I do remember it was 4 months of inventory, I think, maybe 3 months, whatever. You got to be one of the top 4 out of 16. There we go. I just made it 4 months. You have a better chance of being one of the top 2 out of 12 or one of the top 4 out of 16 competing against lesser competition. Where do you have a better chance of getting your home sold so that you can be in Atlanta 60 days with your family and start your new job? This is where one of you is supposed to jump in and say 670.
4 out of 6.
What?
Go ahead.
I say 4 out of 16. I want to be.
Yeah. So you want to be in that price range, 650 to 675, right?
Yes, please.
So where should we price your home, Jeff?
660.
Yeah, I'm good with that. You ready to get started?
Let's go have a beer first. No, I'm kidding.
The answer is no.
Yeah, I agree.
After the paperwork is filled out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for being such a great role play partner there. I do appreciate that. By the way, step 12, close. Pricing strategy goes right into close. Once they give you a price, the next question is, are you ready to get started? Close. Now, you're wondering, John, you haven't said anything about the commission. You're right. I haven't. We'll go over that when we're filling out the paperwork. Price only matters in the absence of value. I've demonstrated and delivered massive value in the hour and a half that I've been in their home. Most of the time, it's not even a conversation. We're filling out the paperwork. I charge 6%, not allowed to talk about that. So I'm not going to get myself in trouble and say, you need to charge this amount or that amount. I'm just saying I charge 6. So we're filling out the paperwork, the fee is 6%. Go on to the next line, we talk about that. It's not an issue. Price only matters in the absence of value. If you're delivering massive value, price won't matter. Now, let's say, for example, Nathan says, or Chandra says, I'm not paying 6%. You're nuts, right? Yeah. I'm going to say, okay, I get it. So I'm going to write it down. We're going to get back to this. What I'm hearing you say is if I were willing to negotiate my fee, you would hire me. Is that correct? Nathan says yes. Chandra says yes, or they say no. Is there anything else stopping you from hiring me today? Other than my commission, is there any reason why you wouldn't hire me today? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't like a thing I said and you can't wait for me to leave, and 10 being I'm the right agent for the job. Where are we? Let them tell you if there's anything else. Write it down. They might have 3 different things. Write them all down. And then just start chunking off the list. So Nathan, if I were able to lower my fee to 5%, would you hire me today? Nathan says yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And is there anything else other than my commission stopping you from hiring me today?
No, let's get started at 5%.
Okay. Oh, I like you, Nathan. So Nathan, can I share with you why that concerns me?
Yes, please share with me.
You see, when somebody asks me if I'll negotiate my fee, I'll lower my fee, right? I hear them asking how good of a negotiator I am. And the good news for you is I'm a fierce negotiator. You see, if I were to give away my money that I use to support my family that quickly, how quickly would I give up your money when we have an offer on your home?
I think you'll probably do it just as fast as you did it right here.
Yeah, you know, if you hire that limited service discount agent, script, write it down. If you hire that limited service discount agent, because they're charging 5%, you're selling your home for $600,000, you potentially are going to gain $6,000. However, you're going to tell them what your bottom line is. I know you are because you told me. You told me that you wouldn't sell your home for less than $590. That's cool. Except they get an offer for $680 and their response is, that's awesome because I know he'll take $690. What if I could have got $700,000 for your home? You lost $10,000 trying to make $6,000. What if it took that limited service discount agent 120 days to sell your home and I sold it in 30 days? That additional 90 days of holding costs cost you $3,000 a month or $9,000. Now you lost $19,000 trying to make an extra $6,000. How do you feel about that? Nathan, if I were able to get $610,000 for your home, do you really care about my commission?
Not really, John. Maybe
Yeah.
you look at it that way.
Here's what I hear you saying. You want to net the most amount of money, right, Nathan?
That's correct.
You have a number you want to net, right?
Right.
And you wondering if my fee is negotiable, right?
Not really. I just kind of threw it out there. I just want to see if you were going to take it.
It's better if you say yes. It goes with the script.
Oh, yes.
Pay attention to how many times Nathan has said yes so far, by the way, guys. So you're asking me to lower your fee because you really want to net the most amount of money, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. And you're wondering if my fee is negotiable. The answer is yes, it is. When we have an offer. When we have an offer on your home, if I need to give up money in order to make the deal work, I will, because I'm a deal maker, not a deal breaker.
That's good.
Until then, it really doesn't matter what my fee is, does it, Nathan?
No.
Cool. You ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. 3:27, took an hour and 27 minutes, not bad. Talk to me. What'd you think?
Hi, John. So quick question.
So
Let's say, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
amazing.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear. Let's say they say I won't sell my home for less than 600,000. Do you add in the 6% commission? Is the 6% commission already included, or you add the 6% commission on top of what they say their bottom line is?
Your commission has nothing to do with anything. Okay.
Okay.
So the price is the price. You don't determine the price.
Okay.
Seller does, the buyer does. The price is what a seller is willing to take and a buyer is willing to pay. All right. I'm never going to tell you something. You remember this part? I'm never going to tell you something that I think you want to hear just to put a sign in your front yard. I'm always going to tell you what you need to hear. And the information I'm looking at, Shoshana, the market is telling me 600 is max. Not going to sell for more than 6. Now, I know your goal was to net 6. The market's saying that's not going to happen. So, Shoshana, if you can't net $600,000, what's plan B?
Should I role play or?
You could.
Oh, okay.
So what's plan B if you're not going to net $600,000, Shoshana?
Then I don't want to sell the house.
Okay, so you're going to stay in your home.
Yeah.
Totally cool with that, by the way. Remember, I told you earlier, this is always about your goals, never about my goals. And maybe staying is the best thing to do. Takeaways are powerful, really powerful. And you did mention to me that you were selling your home to move to Tampa to be closer to your family. So what I'm hearing you say is you'll just wait until the market gets better to do that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What if the market doesn't get better? My biggest concern for you is not that you're going to get less money for your home than you want. My biggest concern for you is you're still here 6 months from now or a year from now, and it's even less. You know, just curious, Shoshana, would you rather sell your home when you want to or when you have to?
When I want to.
Yeah. If something were to change 6 months from now and prices have come down, and now it's not 600, it's 575, and now you have to sell your home. How would you feel about that?
I would not be happy at all.
If interest rates go up, is your home more affordable or less affordable?
It's gonna be less affordable.
If more homes are on the market and there's more competition, is it going to be easier to sell your home or harder to sell your home?
It's gonna be harder.
If your neighbor's home is foreclosed on, did the value of your home just go up or did it go down?
It would go down.
All right, I'm not going to be quieter longer than that, but yes, that was awkward, wasn't it? Shoshana, how did that? I'm not role playing with you. I'm talking to you, coach to real estate agent, friend to friend. I'm your buddy.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like now is the best time for me to sell.
Was it uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Supposed to be. Was there any potential pain involved in that conversation?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be. We are more motivated by avoiding pain than we are by going towards pleasure. And when we're looking at two painful choices, the greater pain always wins. Selling your home and netting less than you want to net is painful. Selling it 6 months from now and netting even less is more painful.
Yeah.
The greater pain always wins. Did I answer your question?
You did. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You don't own the price. You don't. The market owns the price. When you go to the doctor takes an x-ray and says you have a broken arm. The doctor didn't break your arm.
John, I got a question. Eric Pruitt here.
Eric, you look awesome.
Thank you, sir. Says, I just got a text from someone I've been leaving messages for its expired listing. Hello, sorry we haven't spoken yet. However, if you're still interested in blah, blah, blah address, please note there's a great deal of unsubstantiated interest in selling our property. In the interest of both our time and effort, please email me your year sales and our price point, 725, built 2005 or earlier with original roof in the last 3 to 6 months to begin a serious conversation.
So the owner's an attorney.
Or an engineer.
Yeah, right. Hilarious. All right. So there's somebody who wants to do what? They want to list their home.
Correct.
You're asking listing questions.
Yes.
All right. I want you to respond with, I'm super excited and honored to have this opportunity to meet with you and discuss the possibility of representing you in the sale of your home.
Okay.
Now, Eric.
Yes, sir.
Your personal resume doesn't have to be the resume that you use. You don't have to answer their question. You can. And you can also answer it with, if you're part of a team, what your team has done. If you're part of an office or part of a group, what your group has done. I'm always going to be brutally honest. Let's say I'm newer to the business and I don't have the resume that these people are looking for. Where'd you go on my screen? I want to look at you. Hold on 1 second. This is the first time this has ever happened. He's hiding.
Test 1, 2, 3. Did I pop up now?
Yeah, when you talk, because I've got you on speaker, but when I scroll through all the different videos, you're still not showing up. It's the weirdest thing. All right, I'm going to get over it. We're going to keep going. I'm going to go to gallery. There you are. All right, Eric. Now I'm talking to this itty bitty picture about that big. How long you been in the business, Eric?
41 years.
Okay. How's your resume look? Congratulations, by the way. How's your resume look compared to what they're looking for?
I don't know. I mean, last year I only did 55 transactions, but they're all over the price range.
Only 55 transactions. Raise your hand if you'd like to sell 55 homes in the next 12 months. Everybody's hand went up so fast the computer jumped off my table.
Now there you go.
Eric, respond with the first part that I gave you and respond after that. Bullet point it. 40 years in the business. Closed 55 homes last year. I am in the business of helping people. Because I am in the business of helping people, I help people regardless of price range.
Oh, thank you.
When would you like to meet? That's all I want you to say. Right.
Question?
Felicia has her hand up. Lisa. Felicia's Mike. Mike, you got to change that, buddy. Lisa, talk to me.
What if the scenario is different?
Talk to me.
You're a real estate agent.
Uh-huh.
And you don't have 41 years.
Yeah.
That change your advice.
Lisa, I'm so excited to have this opportunity to interview, for the opportunity to represent you in the sale of your home. And I'm brand new to real estate. And that's exactly why you should hire me. You see, if I were to hire someone to sell my home, I would rather hire someone who's brand new than someone who's been doing this for a long time and selling lots of homes. Because they're making money whether they sell my home or not. If I hire a brand new agent, if you hire a brand new agent like me, I am all in. The only way I win is when I sell your home. Besides, somebody had to hire that other agent. They had to be the first person to hire them, and you could be that person for me. So does tomorrow at 4 o'clock, or would 5 be better for you?
Thank you. I absolutely love that answer. And that's probably something I would say,
Yeah.
not word for word verbatim, but thank you.
Yeah. And guys, please don't hear me bragging, okay? I'm not winging anything. You don't think I've heard that before? Of course I've heard that before. Did I have a script ready to go? Yes, I did. I did for Eric as well, because I've heard it over and over and over again. I taught a class one time and I was telling agents in the room how they can be the team, how they can be the big team. At the same time, I have a big team. Next week, I'm on a listing appointment, and one of the other agents they're interviewing is the agent who was in my room that I was teaching. I call the seller to follow up, and I find out they hired her. And I said, that's awesome. She's an amazing agent. Can I ask why you hired her? Because she doesn't have a big team. We think you're too busy for us. I'm like, oh my gosh. She used exactly what I told her to use to beat me. And I was happy, very happy. All right, it is you, Felicia. I'm glad it's you.
Yes, it's me. We both have different Zoom meeting.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I like to talk.
Awesome. So as you know, Mike and I, we really are very heavy on listings, and just Mike just entering into your coaching, he's just skyrocketed. So kudos for you for that and helping us understand this business.
My pleasure.
My question for you is, this is our first time listing a property a little bit over $1 million. Mike is very good at, doing the comparables. I see it's a different marketing, but just by listening to you, it seems like we price it correctly. Maybe, is it because of the pricing? Is it because of the market? I mean, things are picking up, at least in our end with the other listings. I just wanted to know your take on that.
It depends. Single family home?
Yes, single family home.
Priced over $1 million?
Yes, it's 1.8.
Okay. 1.8, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so $1,750,000 to $2 million.
Okay.
And probably going to have to do like a 3 to 4 mile radius, because it's a higher price. You're going to have to fish in a bigger pond in order to get the right numbers.
Okay.
So go out 3 to 4 miles. And how many single family homes? Don't worry about if they're comparable. People get hung up on this. This has nothing to do with comparable. This is all price. How many single family homes are on the market between $1,750,000 and $2 million?
Okay.
How many have sold in the last 6 months? Take the number of sold divided by 6 to figure out how many are selling every 30 days. Now, in that price range, don't be surprised if you find out 1 is selling every 30 days or 2 are selling every 30 days. Then take the number of actives divided by the number of selling every 30 days.
Okay.
If the market's over 6 months of inventory, so if there's 7 homes for sale in that price range and 1 is selling every 30 days, are you going to be the 1? It's priced right if the answer to that question is yes. If the answer is no, it's too high. Bring it down until you are the 1.
Okay, got it. That's good advice. Thank you.
I don't see any more hands. Did you guys get good value today?
Very much. Thank you.
One person said yes. That's amazing.
Super.
Loved it.
It was
Great.
amazing.
Yes.
It was amazing.
I was trying to take notes, but I realized it doesn't make sense. I take notes. I'm gonna just have to watch the playback and take notes as I go along.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
All
great,
right.
John.
Thank you, John.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Hey, you're either here because you're a part of Rainmaker Plus, or you're here because you were invited by somebody to be in this class. If you want more information on Rainmaker Plus, just drop your email in the chat and I'll send you the information. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. If you're not on my 8:30 call, I do have a call every day that runs 8:30 to 9. That's free. Please jump on there and be a part of it. Rainmaker Plus is a special group This is part of what you get for being in that group. It's 25 bucks a month. And we also do a lot of different things like practice and role play scripts every day. So drop your email. I'm talking to give you a chance to put your email in there if you haven't already. If you haven't figured that out already. And then I'm going to jump. You guys make it a great day.
John, how much was it for Rainmaker Plus?
25 a month.
How much?
It's like stealing, man. It's 25 bucks a month. That's it. So no brainer, Eric.
Investment ever.
Sign me up. That script you just gave me was worth 2,500 a month.
Bring it on. Drop your email in the chat because otherwise I can't sign you up. Seriously, I'm old school. I'm surprised I know how to do that.
If I'm driving, how do I get my email to you?
Seven-
Sorry.
727-686-0404. 727-686-0404. Send me a text message.
Okay, I'll get your number from Daryl.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have a pen and I'm driving, so. But
All right,
I loved
everybody.
it. Thank you so much.
Make it a great day, everybody.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
Thank you.
Pleasure. My pleasure.